the Ralph thing. There's two parts to this. As I mentioned, we are bussin', and we're not just bussin', we're omnibussing. The Rekieta Omnibus is going to drop in Candy Ojai County Court tomorrow. I think it's at 10:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. So things are heating up, and it was just going to be Rekieta and a couple of Kiwi bags, but at the last second, a hero stepped up. But before we get to his hero's journey, let's talk about some other minor mishaps that happened before. You are looking at, you will not know this because you can't see the address bar, but you are looking at the TheRalphRetort.com. And I, as a humble systems administrator, know exactly what this page is. This is the WHMCS one-click deploy WordPress error page for hosted, managed hosting. So the cheapest of the cheap in terms of a website that you can get is a managed hosting platform like this, where they basically run a server, they put on WHMCS, and then you buy it, and the package deploys your WordPress blog. And it's called shared hosting because it's basically one server that has a bunch of different websites running on it, and you're competing with those other websites for resources, but it's super cheap. It's like $5 a month to get a website, and most importantly, it has zero technical know-how. You don't have to know anything about computers to get one of these set up. But the downside is when you have so many levels of abstraction and you're just on like a managed hosting service, they're usually pretty picky about their clients. Like if mom's vegan cooking blog is on the same IP address, on the same server, they don't really want the anti-Jew drunk pigman on the other side of the server. So I'm actually shocked that this hasn't happened sooner. But somebody reported them and it got taken down. But this is interesting because one of the last things that happened before this was that I was actually browsing TheRalphRetort.com, and I was browsing TheRalphRetort.com because I had mentioned on the last stream that I remember that, and someone actually went out and did this. I remember that there was the Killstream roast of Dick Masterson, and I thought it would be really funny because if you didn't watch it, you can look this up just by searching on YouTube, Killstream roast of Dick Masterson. If you watch Dick's part of it, it is so bad, it genuinely feels like the joke is that Ralph is trying to hype him up and he's bombing it, like an Andy Kaufman skit at Ralph's expense. Or like a Sam Hyde thing. But no, he's just completely fucking it up. And I remember this, and I was thinking about it, and I said, I have a feeling, I had a thought that I think Dick was the first and only inductee into this Killstream Hall of Fame. So I archived this right before the site went down. Dick was the only person ever inducted into the Killstream Hall of Fame. Dick's performance was so bad, it broke the back of Ralph's ambitions to induce more people or induct more people into the Killstream Hall of Fame. He never reattempted it. He gave up completely after this. Dick will be the only person inducted into it ever because Ralph just completely gave up. Now that's a funny joke. Now he should just claim that was his intent. It was an Andy Kaufman skit at Ralph's expense. He just he wanted to act and be the only person acting on this page forever. So there's some news, chat. As announced, Jim woke up this morning. Garbage cans knocked over. Something had eaten out of them, and there were hoof prints in the yard. Could it be? Could it be? Could the legends be true? Could Ralph be in Minneapolis, chat? So, I think, is this... Okay, here we go. Actually, this is where I want... So you have to listen at Ralph time. It's the dead air that you get to enjoy on the kill stream.
And then I'll also film and dox all these Kiwi Farms freaks as they come out of the courthouse. So that's another thing. I'll be posted. Now you can't. They won't let me take my phone into the courtroom. Anybody who's ever been to court knows that. So all these Kiwi Farms freaks who are flying in, I'll be able to film them and dox them as they go. Well, face dox them as they go in and out of the courthouse. So, because I'll be outside with a live stream going outside the courthouse before I go in. And then as we walk out, they'll give me my phone back and I'll turn it back on and film them. So, that's another consideration here. Let's see. Film the, because they have no right to privacy attending a public court hearing anyway. So Kiwi Farms filth as they're walking away, trying to cover their faces. I mean, I could walk up to their cars and film them. There's nothing stopping that. That's totally legal. It's not legal in Mexico, but it's legal in the United States.
Fuck you motherfuckers at Kiwi Farms, especially Josh Moon. If a saint step out of line, you have to stop.
So, Ralph promises to dox the Kiwi flags and intervene on behalf of Lord Nicholas Rekieta. He will defend the Baldo's honor. He will be there in the parking lot filming people. He will attend the Omnibus himself. The stakes are high, but if only he could attend. But alas, he teases, I'm thinking of flying into Minnesota and going to the Omnibus hearing for Rekieta Law, since KiwiFarms.net is sending his goons there. Oh, I didn't do it in the Ralph voice. Silly me. I'm thinking of flying to Minnesota and going to the Omnibus hearing for Rekieta Law, since Kiwi Farms is sending his goons there. Are people interested in that? Then he also replies to himself and says, I would also be able to film all the Kiwi Farms filth as they enter or leave the courtroom. Lamau, the gauntlet thrown. And in fact, a man did finance his flight to Minnesota. Someone just sent me $500 to make sure I'm at the Rekieta hearing. And then we have a note here from Michael Farrell. That's MichaelFarrell, Michael Farrell. And it says, I do what I say I do, like supporting you, my king. Maybe you should go to Minnesota to cover Nick's hearing. If anyone can handle something like that, it's you. Not that. If not that, then do good coverage and tell Null to fuck himself. Signed, Michael Farrell. So, Michael Farrell sent him $500 to go to Minnesota to dox those Kiwi flags. And Ralph proudly posted this fact on his public Twitter account to epically own everybody. And indeed, I am epically owned. So it was on. People suspected that Ethan Ralph would be too fat and retarded to actually fly out of Mexico, considering that the last time he tried to fly out to Mexico, it was a horrific ordeal for him, and he lost his passport, as he would later reveal. But progress pictures did begin to take form. He posted pictures of himself eating, as he does, as a little truffle pig, hunting through the airports of Ciudad Mexico, eating whatever the fuck this is, and flicking off his own cell phone for whatever reason. He says, oh, it's real. I'm coming to Minnesota. I wonder of the Spurgs who have gotten so much joy out of trying Rekieta's life can even be bothered to find out where I am. And then people just immediately searched the sign in the back and found out that he was in the neighboring airport. He did not want to go to the Mexico City's main airport, Benito Juarez, because it was the hub for Aero Mexico or whatever. So he went to the smaller airport, and I think he flew out to Tijuana after that. So he, for whatever reason, he challenged people to find out what airport he was in, and it was easily done because there's a fucking message that says right there where he's at. He then began to live post videos of him yelling at me for some reason. So I would wake up and see that he had posted like another 4 videos. This is an example of this.
Josh Moon, you're a fucking pussy.
This dude, I don't think anyone talks about me as much as he does. It's just so weird.
You're not gonna show up in Minnesota because you're a fucking coward.
Because it's a long-ass fucking way to go to a procedural hearing, bro.
Guess who is going to show up in Minnesota? Me! Without any donation or whatever. I was going regardless.
Without any donation? You mean like this $500 tip from Michael Farrell for the sole express purpose to take you to Minnesota? That one? Or is that the one that you're talking about?
Regardless of, your phantom theories here, I was going to this hearing regardless. You, on the other hand, have hired an 82-year-old lawyer who is way past his prime.
Okay, so to clarify, Ethan Ralph is so fucking stupid that he searched Matthew Hardin and found like a Harry Hardin in Texas who's 82. There are more than one Hardins in the universe, and he is fail doxed again. He just obsessively fail doxes people.
And basically, Biden level, intellect. He's 82 years old, actually. I looked him up. I know who he is. Rusty Hart. I know who he is.
How does this stupid fuck feed himself? Legit, how does he manage to feed himself? I mean, he's losing a lot of weight. Maybe he can't. Maybe the fucking holes in his brain are so bad he's just not eating anymore. But for real, how's this stupid fuck lift a spoon to his face?
Because, I know who everybody is. I keep up.
It's so funny because he's so wrong.
And so, I don't expect to see you at the hearing, but I will be at the hearing. And I will be outside the courthouse doing a live stream before the hearing. And then I'll turn in my phone like everybody else will have to before they go in. And then I'm going to come back out and document all these fucking freaks that you've sent to try to ruin Nick Rekieta, the one guy who tried to save your fucking career, who tried to save your site, and you have a grudge to break up his family, ruin his life. You are truly the biggest scumbag on the internet, honestly. You're involving kids, and you always have. You've involved my children as well. You're a piece of fucking shit. You are a piece of fucking shit. I will be in Minnesota.
Okay, so let me get this straight. If Rekieta, at any point, if I talk to anybody for any reason on the internet, if they then become a degenerate piece of shit, alcoholic, drug addict, who demolishes their own career, is then found in possession of a felony level of cocaine, and is found in neglect of their own children, and their own children test positive for cocaine, I am not allowed to say anything about it, because 2+ years ago, we had a good repertoire on his stream. Is that what I'm getting from this? And it's just, I just can't, like Ralph and Dick and Rekieta, they all have like this mental illness where they have a complete and total inability to accept any accountability for their own actions. It's always my fault. Literally, and I can't even say it's somebody else's fault. It's my fault. Me specifically. I'm the one ruining his life. I'm the one doing bad things because people are going to a public hearing, which he's also doing. Like, what is the fucking conflict? You're also going to this hearing. So why is it that other people going to this hearing, which would happen regardless of my involvement, because he's a public figure, why is that me trying to ruin his life? And how do you even have, like, I just don't, this is like the hole in the fucking brain issue with him. You, Ralph, published all the shit, everything that anybody knows about Ethan Ralph's children, because they're children and they cannot use a phone. 100% of everything known about the children, he posted to the internet. And it's our fault. Again, it's our fault for knowing shit that he posted to the fucking internet. Children, teenagers learn accountability for this kind of stuff in regards to the internet. But not Ralph, not Rekieta, not Dick, not Vito the Pedo. For whatever reason, it's my fucking fault that they say what they say and they post what they post. I just don't get it. So that's him in Tijuana. And I thought I had something else too. Let me check real quick. He did arrive. I'm going to skip through. I'm going to try to find it. I'm pretty sure he arrived in Minneapolis by now. Spoiler alert. That's what Jim was hinting at. He had heard. The Battle of Jim's Driveway is very real. It's coming. Because if he what's going to happen is that Ralph is now like stuck in Minnesota, the most boring fucking state in the entire country. And he's going to be like, well, what do? I have to pretend that this is a cool thing. So he's going to go to Minneapolis. He's going to go to like a gastropub. He's going to eat like a burger and be like, imagine eating this good. And then he'll go to... should I do it? If I say the words, I bet you that bish, fat, pussy motherfucker won't go to Jim's driveway. You know he's going. You know if I say those words, he's going. And I have to be careful about what I say about Medicare. If he does show up and like somehow kills Jim through like germification of his surrounding area, I will never live that down. I will always be the man who murdered Jim. Even if it's Ralph that went to the house and got him sick, I would be held personally accountable for that. He won't go to Jim's driveway. Look, if I know anything about Ethan Oliver Ralph, it's that he is a spineless bish cuckold pussy that lost both of his children because he just ain't man enough to fill a grown man's shoes. He ain't man enough to do what needs to be done. That bish motherfucker, Ethan Ralph, would never, and I mean never, in a million years, the earth could spin round and round millions of times, and Ethan Ralph would never in that length of time find what it takes to summon the courage to show up on Jim Medica's driveway and topple over that fucking inflatable skeleton thing he's got in his front yard. Never in a million years would Ethan Ralph have the temerity, the character to do such a thing, chat. Okay, I think that this is the latest video.
Whoa, I'm looking too dapper today. I mean, my goodness. Wow, look at that. The curl, man. I can never kill.
You look like a pig. You are literally like, you look like a 65-year-old pig. Pink, slit eyes, old. This man right here, if I've ever seen a man too old to go to Jim Medica's driveway, it would be this little piglet son of a bitch right in front of me.
That Ralph curl, no matter what the fuck I do. I know one motherfucker that won't be leaving his house the next 2-3 days, and that's Fake Cancer Man. He's cowered down in his anime dungeon. Even though mere miles separate us, he's cowered down like the bitch that he is. I'm hoping Wait,
he's asking a cripple to leave his house to come confront him? Motherfucker, we can turn that around right on you. You're the one you could walk. If you're in Minneapolis, you could probably take a bus to get to him in 5 minutes. Why does he gotta roll his ass out of the fucking house to meet you? He doesn't want to meet you, motherfucker. Dumbass. What the fuck?
He's really in pain. I doubt it though. Seems like kayfabe Cancer Man. That might be the one I finally hit on. Actually, was kayfabe Cancer Man. But regardless, I'm gonna see you at the Rekieta hearing tomorrow, bright and early. You better be bright and early to beat the Ralph about, because I plan on being there before anybody.
Why does he look like that? Look at his eyes.
Because I plan on being there before anybody.
He looks so uncertain of himself, so scared and primitive. Like he lacks confidence in what he says. I don't think this old drunk can do it. I think this old fat man can't even walk the distance to Jim's driveway to topple over the skeleton inflation thingy that he has set up. Just don't think so. Don't think he can do it. Piggly, how's that thing go? This little piggy went to the market. This little piggy... Oh, God, how's it go? This little piggy didn't go to Jim's driveway. This little piggy went wee, 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 all the way back to Merida. All right. The hearing is going to be long. This is the thing. It's not an exciting hearing. The Omnibus hearing is a litigation technical thing. So it depends on the venue, but Minnesota's is actually pretty comprehensive. It's basically a all-in-one big deal. That's why it's called an omnibus hearing. So we omnibussing at the omnibus, and the omnibus is basically if you want to raise almost any pre-trial motion to dismiss evidence, to petition, basically anything before the actual trial is set. You have to do it before the omnibusing, and then during the omnibusing, then it's actually decided upon, and the context of the trial, or if you're going to accept a plea deal, is set in stone. So it's a big deal. A lot's going to happen. Basically, everything before the actual trial is set, and I'll talk about that a little bit more. But it's going to be quite long, and even though a lot's happening, it's boring. It's a very technical thing. So if you're going there expecting like a Broadway musical or something, you're out of luck. I made a post explaining to people what I expect of them. And I've basically explained that, Ralph is going there and he's threatened to show up with a knife. Someone said that they were going to go to the courthouse and give Ralph a wedgie. And this pissed Ralph off so much because he's so insecure that he stated bluntly that he would have a knife on him in the parking lot. So he's threatening to come to the courthouse with a knife. So I've told people, look, I want to explain this to you guys as if you're children. And I know that I don't think anybody intended to do otherwise, but avoid confrontation. Don't talk to Ralph. Don't talk to Rekieta. You're not the main character here today. If you want attention, take fucking notes, because that's what people want to see. Don't expect a Broadway musical. It's not going to be a movie. It's not an action flick. You're going to be sitting on a bench, listening to a bunch of lawyers talk to each other about pretrial motions. You have to have patience. You have to have attention. Because you're going to be watching people and you're going to be taking notes about stuff that isn't going to show up in the transcript. And while they're there, one of them is going to request the expedited transcript. I think they've already put in for the expedited transcript, so we may be able to get a copy of the transcript the same day. Or usually it can take months, so we're going to request that they hurry it the fuck up for us. But that will include all the minutes, the actual conversations that take place in the court. Then we can look over that. But the people there are mostly there to witness things that won't be in the transcript. And so, 12 people are showing up. And I also said, you got to be gray men. You can't show up with, don't look weird, groom, bathe, dress reasonably. You should be indistinguishable from the congregation members from Rekieta's church. His extended family, people in his family are going to show up. So you should not look out of place in that group of people. And hopefully that's obvious, but, here's the real thing is that you are going to, don't be black. There's a very real situation if you're going to attend this hearing. That you're going to get through, you're going to check in your phone, you're going to go up there, you're going to have a pen and paper, and you're going to have several hours of lawyers talking to each other. And you might end up on a bench next to Ethan Ralph, who got stank ass, who wears cheap ass fucking cologne, eau de gunt. He probably wears too much cheap ass fucking cologne too, and he doesn't wear underwear. So you might be sitting next to Ralph, and Ralph is of course going to be bored. He's going to be sharting his pants. He might doze off on you. He might fall asleep on your shoulder and start snoring because he's an alcoholic pill popper with holes in his brain. So you got to be ready for an uncomfortable couple hours on the bench. Okay. So I tried to set expectations really low. Like, a lot of people want to do this, and it's like, okay, great, but don't fuck this up for me. Because remember, I'm trying to get things done. And I expect everybody to be respectful and nobody be stupid, because we're trying to get the body cam footage. We're trying to, we're literally intervening in the criminal case to try and get media access. So be good. Or else I'll feed you to Ralph. They'll never find your body. Will Ralph be sober? Bro, the funniest fucking thing. And here's the other thing, by the way. Is that, I mean, since we're on the Ralph thing and we're not talking about Rekieta yet. I mean, Ralph is going to be bored. Like, he's going to get, like, his hour hollering on the, in the parking lot and stuff. He's going to be, like, harassing random people, because he probably doesn't know who's, like, a parishioner and who's, like, Rekieta's family. So he's just going to be harassing people. And he's not going to accomplish anything. Like, he's too much of a bish to show up on Jim's driveway. He's not going to, like, confront any of the officers and be like, I know that you violated Kayla's Sixth Amendment. You're not going to, like, he's not going to confront them and say, like, I know that, you know, you put the cocaine in. Like, he's not going to have the audacity. He's just going to harass, like, people that he thinks might be forum members, but he's not going to actually, like, confront any of the sheriffs or county witnesses or anything. Because he's too much of a, he's too fat and retarded, chat. And he's never going to show up at Jim's driveway either. Lucifer 210 for one says, imagine if Ralph gets his ass beat in Minnesota or served papers again. He's expecting it. Lucifer 210 for one says, Juju, Baldo, and Gunty would want to be Hunter S. Thompson so bad. Maybe they'll end up like he did. Yeah, people forget he killed himself. I think that's their plan. Dick is probably just going to kill himself when he gets too old. Lucifer 210 for one says, Jade will twist Ralph like a pretzel with her chinky kung fu magic. Now that would be funny. If he got beat up by a Vietnamese woman, that would be fucking hysterical. MH Dark Law for 2 says, hey Josh, or yeah Josh, why are you always going to Crackett's children like that one time you called them a brood of retards? Oh wait, I do remember that. I do remember that when Ethan Ralph said, insulted his children, and Rekieta forgave that. Interesting. Blind Oracle for 50 says, and here we find Josh's role in Horus to Jim's God Emperor in Ralph the Talon. I have not a fucking clue what that means. I apologize, but thank you very much. Tetrabax for 20 says, colonization of Jim's driveway with smallpox and other communicable diseases is underway. I guess from Ralph, history is cyclable. Bro, Ralph's about to, like, explode like he's filled with gas. I'm trying to imagine, like, a porous monster, like what's his name? The guy that hates black people. Imagine that guy, and he's describing a monster, and it's like a giant sponge monster filled with poison gas, like a coughing Pokemon thing. Lovecraftian monsters, like a giant sponge filled with gas, like a coughing. But it's monkeypox. And it's Ralph, and he's going to go to the driveway and huff and puff and just spray this cloud, this miasma of monkeypox dust all over the place. That's what's happening right now. Wormless Wonder for 5 says, please make a wild yet plausible prediction for something that might happen at the Omnibus. Someone says the words, this whole damn court's out of order. And or Ralph gets arrested for any reason. And or Ralph is confronted by the bailiff in the parking lot. Something like that. He's going to be told that he can't come to the courthouse because he's disruptive. And he seethes about it. For like, okay, here's what's going to happen. He's going to show up at the parking lot. And because he made that tweet about bringing a knife to the courthouse, the bailiff is going to tell him that he's not welcome at the hearing. He lost his right to go because they have security concerns about him. He's going to bitch and moan at them. Call them something stupid like a shyster or like a corrupt cop or something. But then he's going to respect what he says. He's going to wander off the parking lot and says, well, you can't stop me from being on the other side of the street then, or on the sidewalk. And the bailiff's going to be like, no, you can stay on the sidewalk. So he's going to like fake a protest at like the corner next to the courthouse. And then he's going to get tired after like 15 minutes when everyone just walks into the courthouse and ignores him. And then he's going to go to Minneapolis. He's going to find a bar. He's going to lie about not drinking. He's going to show his sloppy ass food. And he'll never, ever, ever go to Jim's driveway. That's what's going to happen with Ralph. That's my prediction.